This episode of Shooting from the Lip is brought to you by the County Line, Louisville's last honky-tonk bar, located at 1891 Old Preston Highway in Hillview, Kentucky. Manager and bartender Chris Lucian invites you to check out live music every weekend, Friday and Saturday nights. Check out their Facebook page, The County Line. Mention Shooting from the Lip on Friday nights and get Jack Daniel's Honey for $3.
Live from the Shooting from the Lip studio in Louisville, Kentucky, it's time for Lip Service with your hosts, Kevin Hale and Russ Hinkle.
What is up, everyone? Kevin Hale in this Louisville studio, the Shooting from the Lip studio, one half of the studio. This Monday night, July 18th, 2016, it is Lip Service with myself and typically would be Russ Hinkle. Russ is running late, so out of the kindness of her heart, because she is the ultimate team player, tonight, joining me for as long as she wants, is my buddy Tiffany Mack. Tiffany, what's up?
Oh, not much. What are you doing? Are you sweating yet? That's all I want to know.
No, I just let the dogs out before the show came on, so I guess that answers the question to who let the dogs out. That would be me tonight. I looked outside.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful night. It's humid. It's a little warm, but the sky is so clear. The moon is bright. Stars are shining. And, I took a breath or two and looked up and said, you know what? Don't sweat it. Just relax. Enjoy it. Chill.
That's right.
Yeah, I poured my glass of red wine. I'm in for the long haul tonight. It's going to be it should be a fun, interesting show. First guest tonight, friend of mine, Remy Michaels, who I got to meet through doing these podcasts in support of Sons of Anarchy and some other things. Remy's a very cool guy. He's going to come on and talk about what he does as far as adventure stuff, exercise stuff, nutrition stuff, his photography work. And
things that everyone can enjoy, though, right?
Yeah. And then
he's
Russ
not going to kill me by the end of the day if I do one of his exercises, right?
No, I don't know. I'm telling you, the guy looks. he looks. Yeah, he does. And the second segment we'll have Russ, who's actually, I'm going to turn his mic on in a few. He's calling in right now, but Russ is going to have his own segment where I'll go in and do this. Russ is joining us. Test his mic. Russ, you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm deep in the hills of eastern Kentucky, so we'll see how the signal holds up.
Tiffany's with me. Russ?
Hey, Tiff.
Us?
Hey.
So what I decided to do on the third Monday of each month is to give Russ a full segment. It's going to be like a monthly Russ State of the Union, Russ Reality Report. Russ I have some topics I'll throw at him, and it's just the Russ segment. He gets to say what he wants, when he wants, to whoever he wants. And, we just got to live with it.
Live with it. All right.
Yeah. Then about 10:55, I've got a friend of mine, Travis Puryear, who is with the country band City of Country. They've got some changes up, things going on with their band. He wanted some time to share that, which I was happy to accommodate. And then 11ish, we'll have a couple guys from the bands Buckshot Playboys, WildWood will come and promote their gigs at the county line this weekend. They also happen to be law enforcement officers, so I asked them for some time to talk about, the recent stuff that went down in Baton Rouge the last few days and get their quick take on some real life stuff. So anyway, so Russ, you're driving or Mallory driving?
Mallory's driving. She's kind enough to chauffeur me through the hills here.
The hills. All right. So that's tonight. Tiffany, share with us. We're adding a special KT Unearthly show this week, which we're going to do tomorrow night. Special time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central. But share with us what we got going on tomorrow night.
Well, tomorrow we have a guest, and her name is Connie Willis, and she's a local Louisvillian, which is awesome because, you know, I know how much you like to promote different artists and things from our region especially. So that's going to be cool, having a fellow Louisvillian on with us. And she's been in radio and TV forever, for 20 years. You've probably seen her on QVC, Disney, Speed, ESPN, Oxygen, HSN, and she's also currently one of the hosts for Coast to Coast with George Norrie. She has a really cool interest, and it is called Bigfoot. So Friday we're going to be discussing Bigfoot and some other projects, and maybe even an investigation with the Shooting from the Lip team into a Bigfoot in the state of Kentucky. So it should be a lot of fun.
You said Friday. It's actually tomorrow night.
Well, it's airing. Yes, we're airing it tomorrow night, and then we'll choose a Friday. Hopefully September 2nd is what we're going to do it to repeat for our regular Friday audience. Should be fun. Cool. It's a little bit, a little bit strange because I'll be working on a Tuesday, but
we both will, which means it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for me.
Oh, yeah.
But if I can drag you into any of these nights with me, I'll probably do it. So, looking at the big picture, real quick. So I have the TV on to my left. It's the Republican National Convention. Rudy Giuliani is speaking at this moment, preaching BLM and how it needs to stop dividing people. That's a whole new topic, or a different topic, which we'll save later. But tonight's featured speaker, I'm going to throw this at Russ first, is Melania, the wife of the Donald. And supposedly they're going to try to portray her in the Jackie Kennedy-esque likeness. But I wanted to throw something out to you, Russ. I think potentially, are we looking at the first lady to ever be in the White House who has a breast enhancement? I don't think that's ever been the case. Probably
not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly the significance of that, but could be.
What's your overall take with this convention?
Well, I mean, breast enhancements, I'm going to go ahead and give a thumbs up to. I'm okay with that. The convention, I thought it was pretty awful when he introduced Pence, because apparently Pence or whatever is a evangelical, which my feelings on the evangelicals, and he of course he said he wants to give evangelicals a voice. You don't think they have enough of a voice right now, and he wants to give them a voice. So church and state needs to be exactly that. Don't bring your mythological fairy book, morals into my government. Thank you very much. Even Thomas Paine and Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin and all these guys, knew better, that didn't want that crap going on. Don't think it's a good thing. The good news on that, though, is I don't think for 1 second that Trump has an evangelical bone in his body. He truly deep down doesn't give a shit about much, and he'll tell people he does when he really doesn't. So, the good news is he doesn't really support it. The bad news is nobody knows, aside from himself and making money for himself, nobody knows exactly what he does truly support. So it'll yet to be seen. But yeah, fake boobs, great.
Tiff, you got any input on that real quick before we turn Remy's mic on?
I'm just not going to go there.
Why not?
It's just because
You're
it's
natural.
No, I have some very mixed feelings on politics, and I'd rather not get into it.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Well, you know what?
Yep.
We've done talking politics, and what I'm going to do is bring on our first guest tonight, a friend of mine, Remy Michaels, who is Hopefully I got all this right, Remy. An adventure trail runner, exercise psychologist, or physiologist. Physiologist? Yeah. Nutritionist, photographer, animal activist, fireman, genuine nice guy, all the above.
You left out part-time comedian.
Part-time. Well, there you go. The stage is yours, buddy. Welcome to the show, Remy.
Thank you for having me.
I've got Russ and Tiffany on with me tonight. Guys, welcome,
okay.
Remy.
Hey, Remy.
Hey, Remy.
Hey, what's up?
Remy, give us the quick 411 with you.
Well, I was a fireman for close to 30 years and a paramedic for a couple of years as well. And a couple of years back, I just decided that, you know what, I'd had enough and it was time to leave. So, having said that, I'm in the process of retiring at the moment from the firefighting duties. As I said, it's been a long time. I've seen a lot, done a lot, spent several months in New York for 9/11, helping out over there. So, yeah, I've seen a lot in life. So, as a result, I decided that, you know what, you need to enjoy life. Because part of what you guys were talking before I got on the air, by the way, just with all the politics and everything, people spend so much time worrying about everything that's going on this planet, and there really are some really bad things going on. You know what? The one thing people forget to do is enjoy life. We're only here for a short time. In the grand scheme of this planet, our lives are like a split second. But you have all these people out there that are all hell-bent on destroying this planet, and in any way, shape, or form, the wildlife, people, it's unbelievable. It really is. So I decided that I wanted to enjoy my life and start going around to different parts of the world and doing my trail running and basically explain to people what Believe in Yourself is all about, because that's something I go by, is the Believe in Yourself World Tour. And part of the Believe in Yourself is actually having the confidence to do what you want to do. I've met so many people in my life that reach a certain point in their lives where they literally, it's like they give up on life. I guess because they reach a certain age, they're married, they have kids, etc., and they figure, hey, I'm not going to do any better than I am. Well, you know what? The one thing you got to do in life is live life with no regrets. Okay? And by doing that, okay, you tend to enjoy your life a little bit more. Is that a little bit, a little quick synopsis there?
Preach it, brother. Preach it, man.
Preach it. Okay. Well, and again, you know, part of the enjoyment of going to the locations I go to, I've been all over this world. I've gone to Africa twice. I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro for charity. Now I've been doing these extreme distance runs in the United States. I've done the Grand Canyon double crossings 4 times in the last year, which is unheard of. Considering I'm not a young guy, but you know what? Hey, you just get better with age. That's the way I look at it. So
there you go. And this wine I'm drinking has aged well enough to taste pretty good as well. So.
Well, you know, Kevin, my name Remy. I'm named after the cognac Remy Martin. You know that, eh?
That works
we do
for me.
now.
I'm serious, and I'll tell you the story. Hey, you want to have a good laugh? This is a good story, actually. You know, my 2 grandfathers actually worked in a vineyard in southern France where they made Remy Martin. So I guess the big thing with them was that their first grandson was going to be named Remy. Well, I'm the guy who was born Remy, and I guess I disappointed them because I'm not a drinker. I'll have the occasional, but it's not something I.
Yeah, but
I can't imagine alcohol. I can't imagine having alcohol as part of your routine. Am I right?
Well, you know what? Again, you pick and choose. Obviously, I don't want to sound like a total stick in the mud here, but you know what? When it comes to socializing, trust me, I could do it with the best of them. But you pick and choose, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because here's a perfect example. The last time I ran the canyon, which was literally only not even 2 months ago. My headquarters is kind of Las Vegas. That's where I fly into because I got the people at the Aria Hotel Casino that take care of me. They're absolutely wonderful people. I have to give a shout out to one of my best friends, Mel Evans, who is from the Aria and takes care of me, makes sure that my transportation is set up, makes sure that I'm safe, etc. But having said that, when I got back from this previous adventure, one of the first things I do is I go to the spa, have a spa, and then I reward myself with a Remy Martin cognac. So there you go.
Ah, so you do fit some of the.
Yeah. So you know what? When I come down and see you guys, one day, you're not going to have to go. Gee, the poor guy doesn't drink. He's going to be watching this. No, I'll have a good time. Don't worry.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Russ, have you digested everything that this guy is done?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm all about, I'm going to try to be a little more active myself when I get out from my knee surgery and all this.
Yeah.
But right now I'm battling. I'm having to do a huge diet change, and Mallory and I just got off of a 5-day juice cleanse that we did because I've been suffering from gout since I've had my surgery. I used to only get a couple of gout flare-ups, but since I've had my knee surgery, I've had some chronic gout flare-ups. So I'm all about the nutrition and the being active. So I'll be heading down that road for the rest of my life, I'm pretty sure.
For the gout, what are you taking for the gout, if I can ask? Because that's my background, so I'm just curious.
Well, I hadn't been taking any maintenance medications. I've been taking this colchicine or choline or whatever it is. And but they tried to put me on the allopurinol, and I don't think that my body reacted well to that because it actually made me have an attack. So I'm going to probably go back and try to get something called Uloric for a little while.
You know what's very good actually is cherry juice. Believe it or not, 100% cherry juice is excellent for gout. So
I've been drinking cherry juice from concentrate. I mean the really thick syrupy stuff since yesterday, and I've done a lot of research online, and it's all about the alkalinity and making your body more alkaline instead of acidic. So that's cherry juice is very base alkaline substance to put in your body. So I would definitely agree with that.
Well, if I could jump in too, one thing Kevin can give you my contact information. I'll help you out with this because this is what I do. But you mentioned diet, okay? One of the big things I didn't mention in my initial speech, okay, was that I completely changed my diet like 5-6 years ago. Okay, I'm a total vegan now. That was one of the most difficult things for me to change, but probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. And it's amazing now how many celebrities seem to have jumped onto this bandwagon. You've got Arnold Schwarzenegger actually coming out not even a few weeks ago, basically saying that he's giving up meat, and because his doctors told him to. And I'm not a person who preaches that. Like really, it's very difficult for me to kind of explain to people, hey, don't do this, don't do that, because you know what, you got to learn by yourself. However, when people do ask me, I will give them my input with regards to it. And all I can say is all this newfound energy that I have in all these events that I do, 100% come from my diet change. There's no question in my mind. Okay. When I'm doing these long distances, like when I'm going to be back in the canyon in 2 weeks, I'm doing Grand Canyon, Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon as well. It's over 100 miles in distance that I'm going to be doing. And the amazing thing is, it's my diet. You can train as hard as you want. Once you reach that level of proficiency in your training, it's the diet that's going to carry you through. And I'm pleased for you that you've actually decided that you want to change that, because that's one of the most important things you have to start worrying about as you get older, as we all get older, is our diet.
Yeah. My wife's actually a registered dietitian, so she's studying she knows the science side of everything, and so she's looking at some of that with me. But the one question I always have about veganism is, I'm assuming you mean the diet vegan, not a philosophical vegan, maybe both, I don't know. But what do you do to supplement your protein?
I'm glad you asked that, my friend. I'll tell you why, because that is, and people that are listening that are my friends are going to laugh at this, because I get asked this regularly. Now, with regards to protein, there's enough ample protein in a vegetable-based and a plant-based diet, okay? Now, I always use this example. What is the closest relative that we have in the animal kingdom to us?
The bonobo monkey?
Well, the gorilla, okay? And people don't realize, like the silverback gorilla, for example, okay? They're over 450 pounds, close to 500 pounds. They can bench press 10 times more than a human being can, okay? And they are complete vegans. So,
Yeah.
and with regards to your question, where do I get my protein? Where do they get their protein?
Yeah.
So,
well,
the protein is there. There is enough protein in. Like I said, I'm 220 pounds. I got approximately 3-4% body fat. Okay, and you know what? I'm maintaining my muscle mass with what I'm eating.
Yeah, the biggest controversy with that, though, as you probably know, is we haven't had a society that has been sustainable, like a generation that's been sustainable on veganism, that we can look at and say, okay, yes, this is a sustainable diet. Like Daniel Vitalis, I'm sure if you get on YouTube, you know who Daniel Vitalis is.
Yep.
He's been through everything, and even he says that veganism, you can be a vegan for 5, 6, 7 years, but at some point you're going to need some more protein. And a lot of, I know it's a big controversy online. People go back and forth about it, but I would tend to be of the camp that you're going to need some alternative sources of protein at some point.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'll tell you why. Because being an exercise physiologist and nutritionist, I'm monitored regularly by the University of Toronto, where I studied. Okay, and you know what? Not to be a funny guy on the radio right now, but I've literally been called a freak of nature because of the way I am physically. Okay, I'm 53 years of age. I'm going to be 54 in 2 weeks, and I feel better than I did when I was 20. I'm doing more than I did when I was 20, and again, I attribute that to the changes in my diet. Now, with regards to possible deficiencies that you've indicated, I monitor myself constantly. There's no deficiencies. However, you got to be very careful about your diet, okay? And what I mean by that is your wife being a nutritionist and that, she can look into it a little bit more, etc. The protein sources are out there. It's getting better. And you know what? It's not just a personal thing that you need to do for yourself personally, but look at what the change does to the environment, okay? We are killing our environment with what's going on this planet. We're really, with the global warming, etc., and that's all attributed to the cattle farming, etc., etc. So, and you know what? I can take this. This can be another show. I could go forever on this. Like, as human beings, we're not designed to eat meat. People don't understand that. Here's a perfect thing. Stanford study that came out about 3 months ago, all right? They determined that we do not have a protein enzyme that's necessary to digest red meat. Carnivores have it. We are not carnivores. We do not have teeth like carnivores. It goes on and on. Our intestines are much longer. We're designed as herbivores. Carnivores have much shorter intestines. If you look at the intestines of lions, cheetahs, all those animals, hyenas, etc. So, yeah, obviously you can see I'm very passionate about this because it's something that's important to me. But again, it's a personal choice. That's literally the way I feel about it.
Remy, I'm going to ask you a question. Remy,
sure, go ahead.
What do you think about using insects as a source of protein, which I know that Americans are really scared of, but a lot of other people do?
Well, believe it or not, it's a very common practice, okay? Unfortunately, in North America, we frown upon it, and I will include myself on that as well. I have been offered it on numerous occasions, and to be honest with you, I don't have the guts to do it, okay? However, it's supposed to be a very high sustainable form of protein. So
you mean
say that I tried it?
Your 53-year-old big bad self can't take on a insect?
Nope. That's my kryptonite. There you go.
There you go.
Well, they do make protein supplements out of them, though, to where you can put them in shakes or use them in caplets.
Yes. But it's one of those things. Come on, you guys know this. If someone tells you something is in there, that's when you're going to kind of squirm. If you don't know what's in there, you won't know the difference.
Oh, I'd eat it as a protein supplement. I don't know if I'd like to see the little legs wiggling, but you fried up, I'll do it.
I'm going to take you up on that next time I come down to where you guys live.
Very cool.
Okay,
According to some
I'll
studies,
be prepared.
According to some studies, we eat about somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 and 8 spiders a year in our sleep.
Exactly. Good point. That's very true. It's going to kind of gross out a lot of people listening to this, but it's the absolute truth.
That might have been, as much shit as we talk about on this show, Russ, that might have been the most disgusting thing that's ever come out of your mouth.
Well, at least
I actually ate a
though.
small spider. A couple weeks ago, I ate a small spider because my little girl wouldn't try something. She wouldn't try some new food. She's 5. So I told her that I would eat that spider on the table if she would try it. And she said, okay, so she did. So I had to pick the spider up. And it was a little tiny guy, though.
No, that doesn't impress me. If you would have told me, Russ, that the spider was 6 inches long with hairy legs, that would have impressed me.
That would be impressive.
Sorry to disappoint. It was a little guy, a little brown spider.
I wanted to mention something briefly. Like part of the reason why I do these extreme runs and that, I have a couple of very important charities that are dear to my heart. One of them is the Wishing Well Sanctuary, which is up in Ontario, and basically it's a sanctuary for farm animals that are abused, and it's quite a place to go to. Trust me. Like when you start to develop relationships with these personalities, and it's unbelievable. That's what I'm saying. Your life changes when you actually can associate, a cow with a name or a pig with a name. And, again, I just wanted to do a little shout out about them because they're wonderful people up there. It's run mostly by volunteers who have to get up like 5 in the morning to feed these poor animals and stuff. So that's one of the charities I support along the way. And it's run by a very wonderful woman by the name of Brenda Bronfman. She works very hard and diligently to try to make it work. And, but it's just one of many charities out there that people are trying to create to save animals and that, and that's one of my big passions is animal activism. That's something that as I've gotten older, it's getting more pronounced. That's for sure. I actually rescued 2 birds the other day. I don't know if Kevin, you saw. I think you liked that picture that I posted on Instagram.
I did.
Somebody, if you can believe this, I'll tell these people quickly what happened here. I'm going for a nice walk where I live, and I'm going to use the word jackass because I don't think I'm swearing, but some jackass left a nest with 2 baby birds like in a little box under a tree. I'm thinking, okay, and they're alive, of course. They were like 2 days old, according to what the wildlife center told me. So they couldn't take them in right away. I had to take care of these 2 birds for 2 days. It was like I don't think I slept 5 minutes. Because I was like one eye open, going out, making sure they're okay, feeding them. It was ridiculous. So I hope that gives you a good idea of the type of person that I am. But they're resting very comfortably now at the Toronto Wildlife Sanctuary Center, I should say.
Yeah, actually, you doing that doesn't surprise me based on what I have. And let's go to your photography work.
Yes.
Because you do document. Basically, you're documenting your life's work, everything you're doing. And first of all, we want to go on and give a shout out to your administrative assistant? Because
Which
I think whoever, because someone's got to keep your schedule.
They're the ones that take care of me when I'm doing my runs to make sure that all my social media is taken care of.
There you go. Because it looks and sounds like your day from 0 o'clock using military time to 23:59 hours is detailed.
Yes, it is quite busy.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you mentioned the photography because you know what, Kevin, you're bang on. The reason I'm recording I'm trying to bring these images to people that will never get there. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No.
I told the story to a friend of mine the other day about Africa, and here's a perfect example. The first time I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro a number of years ago, I trained 15 people to do it because I'm considered an expert in altitude. And out of the 15, 14 of us made it to the summit, which is literally 20,000 feet. Probably one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Now, something I did up there is, and this might sound strange to some of you, but before I left, and my sister might be listening actually right now, I clipped a piece of hair of all my family members from their head, including my pets, okay? And what I did was I brought them to the top of the mountain and I buried it in the snow, okay? And my feeling was that because they will never be able to experience what I experienced, they were there with me, if that makes any sense. So part of the reason why I take all these photographs is really to show people how really beautiful this world is. Like, I've got American friends that see my pictures of the Canyon and Zion, and they're like, I can't believe this is in the United States. Yes, it is. You have a beautiful country. You have to go out and check it out a little bit. But not everybody does. People are trapped in their worlds, you know what I mean, of the city life. Everything moves very quickly, and life moves very quickly. Sometimes you got to slow it down. So.
Well, I'll be honest. You know, with my lifestyle right now, with my schedule, my kids, you know, the world, I'm kind of living vicariously through you. I mean, because of all of the images. I'm serious. I'm dedicated.
I thank you very much for saying that. That's a very nice thing to say. I appreciate that.
Well, I meant that in a very respectful way because, you know, I follow you on Instagram and you use social media very well, but you use it to, you know, share with. I mean, it's not, you know, it's done to share your experience in a positive way. And it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. And, you know, and Russ, in 2 weeks, he is going to be in the Grand Canyon. And in 2 weeks from tonight, he's going to call us and share with us, give us the Grand Canyon update. Perspective at that moment.
Yes, that should be exciting. Kevin,
you know what, Russ?
One thing.
Why don't we do this, Russ? Between now and then, Russ dropped. He's calling. I was going to say, or Tiffany. What we'll do is Tiffany, Russ, and I, we need to send Remy some strand of hair so he can bury it in the Grand Canyon for us. And we'll all be there.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you guys a deal. I'm actually planning to go back to Mount Kilimanjaro in the next 2 years.
Jesus.
I'm organizing a charitable event. Okay? Now, something I want to tell you, and I know, Kevin, I hope you're sitting down because when you hear this, you're probably going to fall off your chair. But part of the reason why I'm doing all these extreme events, it's leading up to something. I got accepted to do the Antarctica Marathon in 2017 or 2018, depending when I'm ready. So that's kind of why I'm doing these extreme adventures. I'm getting used to the elements. If you know where I live in Ontario, up in northern Ontario, it gets really cold here in the winter. I run all winter. And the reason why, I'm getting my psyche ready for the extreme. I can run in extreme heat. When I get to the canyon in 2 weeks, by the time I hit Phantom Ranch, which is at the center, right at the Colorado River, between the two rims, it'll be about 120 Fahrenheit.
And you said you're getting ready to hit 54.
You got it. In 2 weeks, buddy, I'll be 54.
Well, 2 weeks, great.
It used to be hard for me to say that. You know what? I used to go, oh my God, I'm going to be this. And you know what? Part of the reason I'll tell you why is because, you know, in my life I've dated a lot of younger women, and they've always given me a shot that I'm getting older and stuff like that. And you know what? I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, I'm like 10 times better shape than you are, and you're giving me the gears because I'm getting older. You know what?
Yeah.
Let me give everyone the harsh reality here. We're all going to get older. So you know what? Get used to it. Adjust to it. And however, enjoy your life. Okay? Enjoy the people around you. And above all, Kevin, you know what happened when I hit 50? I'll tell you straight. And this is coming from my dad's wisdom, who passed away a few years ago. You know what? Surround yourself with positive people. Like the group you have right now that do this show. I'm sure everyone's a positive person. You guys know each other. You guys relate to each other. Well, I'm sure we could all tell stories in our past where we've had to deal with negative people, bringing you down and just telling you can't do that. You know how many people, Kevin, used to tell me when I told them I was going to run the Grand Canyon, it was like, yeah, right. It was like, yeah, okay. And it's funny. I've done it 4 times, and you know what? I'm going to do it again. And, you know, so my point is, life is short. Surround yourself with positive energy. You got no time for negativity.
Yeah, do what you want. But you know, I'm really impressed with your not only your attitude but your skill level, because I ran cross country for years and ran track, and I'm telling you, I hated it every single day I was doing it, although I felt great afterwards. I got to give you credit. I mean, I'd run 10 miles and, I didn't want to do any more.
But
so I give you a lot of props, man. That's awesome. And you're seeing incredible places. And
well, that's my point. There you go. That's why I call it adventure trail running. I choose locations that are out of this world, and that's why, thank you, Kevin, for bringing up the photography, because yes, I want to share it with people. I want to show people that, we live on a beautiful planet. This is not about war and killing every day, that we got to hear what's going on in the United States, what's going on in Europe and stuff. If people would collectively take a deep breath and go, today I'm not going to kill someone. I'm actually going to enjoy nature. Boy, this world would be a different place. It really would.
Well,
and one thing I was going to tell you, Kevin, I wanted to tell you this quickly. I am recording my adventures too with my GoPro, so I am looking at a documentary coming up in the next year. Possibly.
Cool. Very cool.
Just to let you know.
No, well, what you've done tonight with all the shit that's gone on in this world, in the States, with the police officers and France terrorist stuff, if anything, Remy, you've just showed us that you've taken us to the other extreme, and that's a good thing.
Well, I thank you. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, Kevin, because as I started my monologue at the beginning, I've seen so much tragedy in my life. We could do an entire show one day on what I saw in New York for 9/11, okay? And I'm going to tell you something. The one thing I learned from being in these places, from seeing people at their worst, is that, when people are at their worst, you see people that are at their best, okay? And I was so proud. I'm going to mention New York, for example, very quickly. I was so proud of the Red Cross, because I was a paramedic, as I mentioned before. I was a firefighter, and that's what I studied in university first, okay? And to see the people from the Red Cross, and these are all people that have jobs, and they have to drop everything and go to help other people. They don't think about it. They act because they understand what humanity is, okay? And that's the beauty of seeing that. But I told myself after that incident, for example, I knew that my career was winding down, because you know what? There's so much good on this planet, and really, you got to focus on that. You really do. So
there you go. Well, before we let you go, Remy, share with us all your social media, where everyone can get a hold of it, connect with you.
Okay, well, you can find me on Instagram at Remy's Believe in Yourself. You'll find me up there. You can Google Remy Michaels or Remy's Believe in Yourself, and you'll see all my stuff will come up. I'm on Twitter at Remy Michaels, and I'm on Facebook at Remy Michaels as well. So, and any input that anybody wants to give me, if they got something, pictures, and by the way, a lot of the pictures I take, I offer them to people. If somebody out there really likes one of my pictures, you know what? I'll send it to them. You know what? And I tell them the same thing. Listen, I'm not looking at making money with my pictures and stuff like that. If there's a picture you love, I'll send you an original. You know what? Fire my charity $20 or something. You know what I mean? That would make me happy. You know what I mean? That's all that really matters.
Good stuff, man. Remy, you came on and killed it tonight. I look forward to, in 2 weeks, to get the Remy State of the Union from the Grand Canyon.
I'm pumped up about it. Listen, Kevin, just to make you laugh, I told Sophia earlier that I was getting my hair cut for tonight's show, by the way. So you guys don't know, but I'm totally styling tonight. Totally.
Not only do you sound good, you look good.
Nice.
There you
I like that.
Total package.
Appreciate it.
Total package.
Yeah.
Remy.
And I want to thank everybody out there that is listening. Yeah. And you know what? You guys do a wonderful job. I've listened to several of your podcasts, and it's a lot of fun. And it's nice to have people out there that can bring people together, share their stories and their experiences. And really, that's what life's all about. Seriously, you got to, like I said, everyone's got to decompress a little bit and just look at the good things. You know what I mean? Don't turn on CNN tonight, okay? Go outside and look at the stars.
Yeah.
You're
right.
Stars. Look in the sky. There's beautiful stars out there. I don't know where you are, wherever you guys are, but in Port Credit, where I'm living, it's a clear sky right now.
Same here.
Enjoy it.
Good stuff. Good karma, Remy. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, bro.
No worries. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Be ready.
Yes, sir. All right. Take care, man.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Remy.
That's Russ, Tip, you still there? If that's some positivity.
Oh yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I think, to his point, when we do our shows, sometimes we will go on tangents, and sometimes they're serious and not so serious to steal the little tag the show soundbite. But at the end of the day, I like in some way, somehow, some way that we're spreading some kind of good karma with the show. I like to be informative, I like to be funny and entertaining, but for this, for 60 minutes, 2 hours, however long we do a show, where everyone's just kind of chilling and the people that are hanging with us religiously on Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights, Tuesday now that Tiffany can dictate my schedule, they're hanging out with us because they want to, and it's taken their, it's kind of like escaping from the real world, if you will. And Remy killed it.
The famous philosopher Snoop D-O-double-G once said, somehow, some way, we keep coming up with funky ass shit nearly every single day.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Kudos to the Snoop Dogg. Tiffany, are you still with us for a little bit, or you got to go? You got to go.
Well, it's I'm in and out on mute because my daughter keeps flailing and screaming. So it's like I get a minute and then I can't, and then I get a minute and then I can't.
Well, I mean, just.
So I'm trying to listen to the whole show as well.
Okay, no, go ahead. Now I know I'm.
That was he was an awesome guest, and it looks like you've got a good lineup coming up too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiffany, if you could stay on, please do. Whatever, put your mic on mute. I'm going to throw some topics at Russ before we get to the next guest around 10:55.
Just to let you know, Kevin, I got good signal right now, but there's one more big dip where we have bad signal. It'll be a real quick one, like 2 or 3 minutes. So if I lose you, I'll call right back in, just to let you know.
Okay. Let's see what we got going on. The France thing. Terrorists strike again.
I didn't hear this one. What's the overview on this one?
Well, this was in excess of 80 people were killed. It was on Bastille Day.
By the truck.
Yeah, by the truck.
Bastille Day by the truck. Okay, yeah.
Right.
I thought it must have been another one. Okay, yeah. That's pretty tragic.
What's from the Russ's reality report? What is your take on all that? The world as we know it now, all in the name of their religion. Give us your quick little editorial.
To just kind of put it out there, because the ultra liberal people will say, well, other religions are just as bad. Well, yeah, Christianity was just as bad 500 years ago. 500 years ago, Christianity. And I'm no supporter or defender of Christianity by any means, but the fact of the matter is, Islam is about 500 years younger than Christianity is, and they're going through their, to some extent, still a medieval period in a lot of, sects of their religion. There's a majority of them that are completely peaceful and just want to, go on with life and do what they do. But there are some that are living in a medieval mindset that, if you're not going to follow their way and the way they see it, then they have books, the Quran and especially the Hadith, which is like the study guide that they put together with the Quran, that says you are free to not only murder but enslave and take sex slaves and do all these things, and that's the problem. What we have people that are it's religion in general that's the problem. Right now, it's the biggest problem is the Islamic religion, the extremists of the Islamic religion, and we're going to have to take measures to protect society. That's the bottom line. People don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that Islam is the majority of the problem, but it is right now, and there's just going to have to be steps taken, and that's where a dingbat like Donald Trump can resonate with people, because while you have all the, the Democratic liberals on the other side that won't even say that Islamic fundamental terrorism is a problem that we have in the world, they won't even, outline the problem. Then you have a carnival barker like Donald Trump that can come in and say, and actually say it, have some legitimacy there, and that's going to resonate with people. It's going to resonate with some people who are just straight out racist and shitty, but it's going to resonate with some people who are like, yeah, this is a fucking problem.
And this is here in the States. Actually, it's in the state that borders us. I dug this article up. Your quick thoughts. Last week, a Christian extremist shot a transgender woman in her face at her place of work. And because it happened in Indiana, it's not considered a hate crime. When all the details that came out of it, the attack was because of her sexuality, her lifestyle. What's the reaction to that?
Well, if you shoot somebody in the face, you should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I don't give a shit, what your reason was, unless it was self-defense or, trying to, if someone causing you getting ready to cause you immediate bodily harm or some, one of your loved ones. But, whether it's a hate crime or not, I don't think is that big of a deal. You shoot somebody in the face, I'm pretty sure the penalty's pretty stiff. Indiana's a state that has pretty stiff penalties for shit like that. So,
let's hope.
And it's just, again, that guy is motivated. He's probably a crazy person. I'll say that first off. He's probably a nut job crazy person. When you mix nut job crazy person with thinking that, and religion can be even an ideology. Like extreme conservatives and extreme liberals are just as religious as Catholics or Baptists. Basically a religion is an acceptance of a set of ideas based on almost no evidence, based on no, empirical study. So, yeah, extreme conservatives and extreme liberals are just as religious as when they're not using logic and reason. Anybody that's reading a mythological holy book.
Speaking of the mythological holy book, depending on which side of the fence you fall on, the famous attraction that opened up recently here in the state of Kentucky, the Ark, the replica Ark, depending on who you talk to, Russ, who swear by the Bible, praise it. The science guy, Bill Nye, came in and made a lot of scientific views based on it. But I think it's a joke for the state. I think in the big picture, it's a total just farce that you've got someone who has manipulated the state to buy, to up the tax credit that he got, the amount of money that was put into it, and the fact that the images that are inside there include dinosaurs.
The more I think about it, the more it is a joke. I was debating somebody online the other day. Most progressive Catholics believe the stories in the Old Testament. They think they're allegorical. Most, educated, theologians and educated people who, choose to be, follow the Christian faith don't think that Jonah lived in a well or that, people tried to build a tower to heaven and then all of a sudden God cursed them with speaking different languages. Most people think that, those are silly, fables or like nursery rhyme type stories that were just, in the Old Testament. And then they want to just quickly skip over to the New Testament and say, oh, well, what about the New Testament? And of course, the New Testament, it's fine. It only promotes slavery and, stuff like that. But I think that the Ark is going to, at least with smart people, the Ark is going to be a representation of the silliness of religion. That's the legacy of that Ark thing. It's going to be like, look how silly some people are. They think that they got 13 million species of animal on a boat from all over the world, while God created mass genocide and killed. God's got to be the biggest. If the Noah's Ark story is true, God's got to be the biggest abortionist of all time. Because imagine how many pregnant women drowned. That's vicariously an abortion. So God is the single event biggest abortionist of all time.
Ooh, I didn't think of it that way. That's going to strike a chord of some people. Hey, that's what we're all about. I'll do too. Did you when you go to Starbucks or McDonald's, Russ? Do you take advantage of their free Wi-Fi?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to. I actually grew up and have a guilty pleasure of McDonald's, but in light of this health issues and what we talked about with Remy, I'm going to have to pretty much X McDonald's off my list for life. But now, I take advantage of Wi-Fi. Now
you definitely have another reason to exit McDonald's and Starbucks. Because their Wi-Fi, they are officially blocking your access to porn on their Wi-Fi services.
Oh, that's terrible.
So that's a bunch of BS.
I can kind of see that. We don't want people masturbating, in the bathroom at Starbucks or McDonald's. So I can kind of see that as a public safety or a public health issue.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, actually, you're right. Actually, now I'm okay with that. Now you think about it, because McDonald's does have the big playground, or a lot of them do have the little thing area where the kids can play. Yeah, that's a good thing. Actually, you've just brought a positive out, Russ.
I'm all for porn, but if you have to look at porn at McDonald's or Starbucks, then you're just going to have to use your data plan. Bottom line.
Use your data plan. All right, Russ, sit tight. I'm going to go to our next segment. Let me welcome Travis on the line. Travis is with the band City of Country. Travis, you there, bud?
What is up, buddy?
How are you, man?
What's going on? It's been a long weekend, and I'm still actually stuck at work at the moment, so I'm actually busting my balls trying to get out of here so I can talk to you guys about a bunch of stuff, all this fun stuff.
There you go. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Russ, this is a band, City of Country. They're a band that's less than a year in existence as a band, and they've just released an EP. Their music is country. I mean, it's some good stuff. Actually, you may have been there when they played at the county line. This is a band that I truly enjoy, mainly not only because of the music, but the people. They're some good people. And Travis, they've got some updates with the band, and he wanted to come on and share with us. So let's welcome Travis to the show.
Welcome aboard.
What is up, Russ? What's going on, man? First time I got to talk to you, dude.
I'm actually driving, speaking of country, I'm driving back from the hills of eastern Kentucky. We were down in the big city of Plattsburgh down here, and we're just heading back through, I think we're going through Winchester right now.
Heck yeah. How do you like that scenery down there? How's that going for you?
I like it. It's nice. It's a great place to visit. My wife's from there. She's as, she's got about as thick of a hillbilly accent as you can have when she completely lets loose, and I like it. It's a great place to visit. It's just they kind of during the week they roll the sidewalks up at around 7:30, so there ain't much to do. We lived down here for about a year, and it wasn't. I was born and raised in Louisville, and then lived in Lexington for a while I went to school, and it's just that real slow, not much to do lifestyle just ain't for me.
So you moved out there and was kind of like, holy crap, what is going on? I'm used to partying until 2 a.m., and now we got to roll up and go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's just, it's just a little too conservative and churchy for me, but, some people love it.
You know what? I've been around Mallory when she lets loose, Russ, and that southern twang, she can get a little sexy with that mouth of hers.
Absolutely. She definitely, it turned me on enough to stay with her, so,
There you go. All right, Travis, let's do this. I'm bringing on Sean and Casey. Let's bring Sean on. Sean, what's up, man?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good. You?
I'm cold kicking, maxing with my homies, chilling like I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I'm just babbling.
No, actually, you're speaking Russ's language because Russ was quoting Snoop Dogg earlier, so there you go. It's all good.
Well, gin and juice, baby.
Hell yeah.
Sean, tell us, how do you fit in now with City of Country?
Well, I mean, I got really drunk one night and went out to one of their shows, and they said, "Hey, man, you want to play Free Fallin'?" I said, "Yeah, sure, I can play that." So I first went up and I picked up the guitar. They said, "No, you play drums." I went, "Oh, crap, you're right." So I went over and got on the drums and played a song, and they were like, "Man, this guy's kind of cool." And once I fell off the stage, they were like, "Well, he's in." No. Woo, sorry, I went too far with that. No, what happened is that I own Bill TV Network, which is a internet TV network, kind of like entertainment. We play videos and stuff like that. And I made a call out one day and said, "Hey, send me your band videos, please." So I got some cool stuff to play. Well, Chris, he sent a video over, and I started playing it. Well, I fell in love with the song Kentucky. I mean, I just thought it was great. So kind of talking to the guys, had them come out to the studio during one of the live broadcasts and drinking beer with them, and they were looking for a drummer. I said, "Hey, I'd love to play with you guys, man." And that's pretty much what happened. So
Sean's the new guy, the new drummer, right, Travis?
Sean is the new drummer, man. I guess we had a guy that wanted to make stuff kind of publicly known and didn't want to end things on a good note. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows what happened with that. And, we had to do nothing but let him go because of all the crazy stuff. So Sean stopped in one night at our EP release at the county line, and we didn't really hear him ever play drums, and we're like, oh, God, this is either going to end in a disaster or it's going to be great. And he did, man. And dude, and a guy that can play Free Fallin' one-handed and dance to Sharp Dressed Man while you're singing Free Fallin' is pretty all right in my book, So.
So basically, Sean got the audition as an air drummer that night and became your drummer.
Yeah, I mean, slowly over time, we wasn't even really looking for a drummer at the time. We just had a lot of mishaps during the weekend with our old drummer, and we're not talking bad about him. We're not those kind of guys. We're just he needed to improve on certain things, and we were going to give him time to improve on it, and he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to improve. He didn't feel like that he needed the time to improve on certain things, and so we were going to audition.
Differences.
Yeah, creative differences.
Yes, sir.
Kevin, I was at a concert one time, and I saw a guy play every Def Leppard song with one hand on the drums. It was amazing.
Leave Rick Allen alone. I'm a Rick Allen guy. I'm a Def Leppard guy, so stop, Russ.
I just promote. No, I love him. I just promote him because, not too many times you see a one-armed bandit out there, banging them up, playing a 2-foot pedal.
Good Lord. All right. Travis, also on the line with us is Casey. Casey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Casey's got the 214 area code. What area code's that?
Dallas, Texas.
Are you there in Dallas right now?
No, sir. I'm in Bardstown, Kentucky. But I just can't let Texas go.
From the big D to the big B, and that means bourbon, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I got a quick question, though. Y'all started off with Sean. Now, have y'all ever watched his videos on Facebook? The pillow talk and the cold hard truth and all that stuff that he does all day long every day. That is one long-winded dude. How do you start with that?
Sean, you got a thing called pillow talk?
Yeah, he does pillow talk. He whispers sweet nothings to all the men.
All the men.
All right.
Well, there's nothing but men on tonight, so Sean, the stage is yours, bro.
First off,
I love listening to his stuff, man.
Shirt.
He's got low legs.
Yeah, baby. Oh, that's what my milkshake brings all the boys to your yard. Oh, yeah.
No, I gotta say, Sean's got some good, valid points. He talks about some good stuff. He just doesn't ramble about meaningless crap. So
thank you.
It's fun to watch.
Well, guys, I'm a 6-year Army veteran. I spent 6 years in the Army, serving my country. I'm a diehard patriot. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a damn American, and that's just I throw it out there how it needs to be done.
There you go.
Kevin gets on the Ambien. He's quite the pillow talker.
Oh. Yeah.
When I'm on the Ambien, Here's what's funny is that when I'm on the Ambien, if the right conversation or person is available, it's weird because the Ambien should make me sleep, but I could go all night, at least in a physical state. I'll be totally out of it mentally, but that's enough of me. Let's go. Travis, tell us what's going on lately. What's up new? What's next for you guys coming up?
What's next for us coming up, man? We actually got a show in Illinois coming up this Saturday. So it's going to be in Ashmore, Illinois. We're going to be playing with a couple of different bands, playing with JV Country, playing with Hello Agony. It's just going to be a good time, man. We've actually got several fans coming out and actually being on the road with us. Got a few fans coming all the way from Arkansas that's coming to see us in Kansas City, Louisiana. Just a bunch of support, man, coming out, and it's amazing to see that. Granted, we won't have our guitar player with us, our lead guitarist. Everybody knows, I guess, a lot that's going on with him right now. Unfortunately, he was in a pretty bad motorcycle accident this past weekend. So
did hear that. How's he doing right now?
Man, right now he's actually either tonight or in the morning. He's probably getting transferred to Louisville Wound Care. It's like the Wound Care Center up in Louisville. He's down in Litchfield, Kentucky, at the Twin Lakes. And it's just no offense to them guys. They're doing an amazing job for what they can do for him.
Right.
But they can only do so much down there. It's like a Band-Aid hospital, you know. So his wounds are so bad that he's going to have to be transferred out probably to get taken care of.
Gotcha.
He's got 2 fractured ribs, 12 stitches in his left hand, and he had a concussion. And I guess that's all they've really found right now. They're doing further tests. So.
Well, we wish him well. Wish him best. So, I was just thinking, Travis, the last time I saw you guys, I think it was the Diamonds. You were part of was it Jericho Woods, WildWood night, right? Is that what I seen you guys? Was that right? So, you opened up.
Yeah,
I think that was a fun night. You guys making some noise in the industry. I have to ask you guys, what is your all's take with Travis with WildWood? Because it's a band, I have to be honest, it's a band that I think is making a lot of noise locally. I mean, they seem like they're just everywhere. What's your take with WildWood?
We've actually, as far as our take, like how do we feel about the guys on WildWood?
Yeah, I mean, what's your take on the band?
Me personally, I think they're amazing, dude. Jake Badger, John Hager, 2 guys that are in that band. They're like family to us. We talk to them. We try to talk to them on a weekly basis. Sometimes we don't get to. You know, everybody's schedule's pretty crazy, man. So we try to do what we can do for everybody. And as far as a entertainment-wise and a live local band that's in the community in the Louisville area and actually making a lot of noise right now, not only just in the local area, but a little bit of everywhere. I mean, they're tremendous. They have a good following. They put on a good show. People love them, man. People love WildWood, and we love WildWood. They're like family to us.
I do too. You know, this is between us. You know, I had Jake on the show several times. Is it me, or is Jake starting to dipping into the diva status?
Is Jake dipping into the diva status?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jake may be dipping into the diva status a little bit, but I tell you what, man, nobody beats the diva status like Sean Saunders, our new drummer. So as far as all the pillow talk and everything else that goes on, that's part of his diva scheme.
Okay.
So,
hey, we got Sean covered. We got Casey covered. Hey, guess who's on the line too, Travis?
Let me guess, Jake Badger.
The one and only, baby.
What's up, baby? What's up? Hey, how you doing tonight, brother? I'm good, man. You doing all right? Hey, man, I'm hanging in there, you know, just running around work here trying to get things done before I got to head out.
You know, and I think it was good podcast, internet radio, if all of a sudden I started this little, you know, where in this case it would be like the country version or Louisville country version of Kanye versus Taylor, it'd be, City of Country versus WildWood, Jake versus Travis.
But you know what I like about the scene here?
Biting. I was hoping to get a soundbite from you that, Jake is like, good Lord, get away from the mirror and the camera.
But you know what I like the most about the music scene here is that, whoever's dipping into diva status or whoever's being this or being that, we all still treat each other as family. I mean, we support each other 100%. There's nothing like live local music. And just they're great. I mean, even with Aaron's accident, so many bands have reached out and sent their prayers and everything like that. And it's just it's nice that it's like that here, because I've been places and done work with other bands that it's not like that. It's about them and that's it. They're so deep into the diva status that they don't care what happens to other people. And if there is somebody that's hurt, that's good for them, because that's another show that they can try to book. See everybody coming together here. There's some great things in the works right now that Travis and I discussed today. And, there's so much that in other bands are coming together saying, hey, let's do this. I got to say, to all these other local country bands, rock bands, Smoke, I mean, all of them, they're amazing because they're willing to do whatever it takes to band together and make live local music here something to remember. And that, to me, is worth its weight in gold.
Hey, Russ.
I agree, man.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting all this? Do you see how he's emphasizing team player and, not to be so much of the, the diva or the person that finds her way in front of the camera? Russ, you getting all this?
I tell you, you're just like a producer. You try to bring it out of me and then try to smack me back down. I don't know.
This is our script reality show, Russ, right?
I only do what I'm told.
Back.
Question.
Go.
I got a little question here. I just want to throw this out there, and I think it's great. I haven't been in the country music scene, not at all. I spent about 12 years in a band called Two Pump Chump, and I know, exactly. Go ahead, guys. Laugh your ass off, because I got to tell you, it was a joke. But the problem I found with a lot of the music scene around here is I found that there was a lack of family. It seems like everybody was out for their own. But like I said, I haven't been in the country music scene around here. From what I've seen so far, I'm pretty impressed with it, because I do like the brotherhood and I do like the family type thing going on. Do you think that there's ultimately a change going around right now with the music scene? Do you think that maybe we're going back into where we're going to start throwing them DJs out and actually supporting local live bands and stuff like that? What are your thoughts?
Jake, you answer first. Go ahead.
I definitely think it's coming back. We're starting to see a few more venues come back, more live music shows, and I think all of us coming together and making noise as opposed to one or two bands is definitely in our best interest. So, yeah, I'm all for live music as opposed to a DJ. No offense to some of my good DJ buddies out there, but the live music stuff does it more for me than, unless I want to shake my ass on a Saturday night, then that's a different story.
I hear you. Now, Jake, if you were a DJ, what would be your DJ name?
Oh, man. That's a good question.
Well, I'm going to everybody. I hold that thought, Jake. You think of one. Russ, what would be your DJ name?
I don't know either. I've not really thought of it.
Oh, God,
DJ.
Come on. Play along, people.
All right, I got
DJ Rockin' Russ. Yeah, DJ Rockin' Russ on the ones and twos, coming at ya from the lax to the stacks, the best on wax.
I'm going to give you my panties right now.
Sean, what would be yours?
DJ Snazzle Pants coming at you from the zipper of life.
Whoa. Ah.
That's right. That's right.
How about you, Casey?
Well, considering I'm 6'2" and 300 pounds, I'd say DJ Sebaceous, fats on the 1 and 2s.
What about you, Travis?
Oh man, DJ bass is bringing the low end to life.
Oh, okay.
I was
Now,
going to say DJ Appalachian American for Travis, but, you know, hey.
Oh, we're going down that route tonight.
On this show, on this show, we go down every route before we shut it down. What about you, Jake?
Appalachian Lives Matter.
Jake, what's yours now? You had 30 seconds to come up with.
30 seconds. I'm gonna go DJ Feltus match on the ones and oohs.
Crazy.
What about you, Kevin? What's your DJ name, Kevin?
That's a good question. I'll defer to another segment since I'm hosting this show. So, and I gotta kind of keep things rolling on because we're on a timetable, Russ. So just let me do.
Way to dodge.
Yeah. Travis, or is the band right now settled in to move forward with the people?
Man, I'll be honest with you right now. It's like what Casey was saying a while ago. We've got a lot of big stuff coming up in 2017. I'm going to punch in a couple shows right here for you, if that's okay. I didn't get to punch them in past Illinois, but actually next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but next weekend after our Illinois tour, we're going to be at Spectators that Friday. So Friday the 29th, we'll be at Spectators. Granted, like I said, Aaron won't be with us, but we'll be all right. We'll make it through our sets. We have Native Son. They're going to be opening up for us. Also, July 30th, we're going to be playing at Legacy in Taylorsville, Kentucky, and Native Son is going to be opening up for us as well. Now, for us, as far as future goes, man, there's so many great things lined out, and I'm not going to release those dates until Casey gives us the okay to, because Casey, I like to introduce him as our new PR guy. He's actually doing a tremendous job already within the past 2 weeks that we've had him along with our team, and man, we're making progress. We're pushing through, and we've already got this year booked, and we're working on next year as we speak. So,
well, I do know one thing. Jake, enlighten me. Isn't there a gig? There's a benefit coming up at the beginning of August that you're heavily involved with, Jake. But is City of Country part of that?
Yeah, they sure are. City of Country for the Kids. City of Country is actually kicking it off, and a lot of great bands on that show. I can't wait. Yeah,
good stuff. So, all right, Sean, Casey, Travis, City of Country guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Travis, I'm your hookup. Whenever you need anything, just holler at me.
Yes, sir. Anytime, brother. And same goes for you. You need anything, you just give me a call, man.
Will do. Sean.
Thanks, guys.
Casey, thanks for hanging out with us. Not good to meet you guys.
Thanks.
Hey, no problem. Nice to meet y'all.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Russ, that was the guys from City of Country promoting.
Great group of guys. Everybody sounds real cool.
Yeah. We still got a cool one on with us. Jake, got a gig coming up this Saturday. What's that all about?
Yeah, Saturday night, we're back at the good old county line. Going down to see my buddy Chris Lucian and the gang down there. Always enjoy going back. We had a lot of fun last time we played there, and going to go down and raise a little hell this weekend.
Very cool. We were hoping to get Mike Stump to join us tonight. He's with the band Buckshot Playboys, who their band's doing the Friday night gig at the line. He hasn't made it, but the show must go on. Russ, Jake, I want to, Russ, I think you know this. Jake's law enforcement on the Indiana side. Lot of stuff going on in the real world within the law enforcement family.
Oh yeah.
And for starters, I think Russ will have my back here. We thank the guys in blue, the guys and women, men and women in blue, for all their work to protect and serve, to take care of us, the things that you all do to let me sleep at night. So, Jake, thumbs up to you.
Appreciate it. Yep.
I want to get your take. Baton Rouge, you know, the shit that went down there. You know, it was assassin. They were, you know, three cops lost their lives. It seemed it was calculated with the 911 call. Jay, when you had Alice, Baton Rouge, you know, tell it from the heart, man. How are you feeling when you get the news, you know, Sunday morning when you heard this?
Well, it's getting to the point now where I just dread getting on the news or Facebook. I mean, it's something new every day, and you know, they keep throwing fuel on this race fire that, in the realistically, I don't think exists. I mean, sure, there's issues out there, but you know, all this, the media is fueling this hate, and it's starting to, you know, really come into the limelight, and it's costing lives from both sides of the fence. And I think it's just getting a little ridiculous and getting out of hand. And you know, our job's always been dangerous. We know what we signed up for, but it's reached all new level now, and it's really getting out of hand.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. You know what you signed up for, and so from that perspective, with the things that you go through on the grind, because of some people's mindset is that, well, they knew what they signed up for, and the way that they say it come across as if like, well, I don't know what to say. You should be dealing with, just deal with it because it's par for the course. What's your reaction to the people who you know, take your work for granted?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have your naysayers and all that stuff. And, you know, you signed up for the job. You knew it was dangerous. And, I mean, yeah, they're all right. You know, we know the risk. There comes a certain point where, I mean, you know, I didn't sign up to do this job to be labeled as a racist and, you know, to go out and shoot somebody and, you know, have my face plastered all over media. I signed up for this job because I like serving the community. I like helping people. There's a lot more to law enforcement than writing tickets and taking people to jail. And I don't know. It's just we're, you know, just one bad apple is going to give us a bad name, just like any other job. I mean, whether you're working at McDonald's or you're a doctor or you're a cop, there's always going to be that one shithead that's going to ruin stuff for everybody else. So.
Russ, jump in. What's your take right now with your perspective of law enforcement? And you know, Jake's a straight guy.
I absolutely agree with what Jake just said. I agree 100% because it's on both sides. Even the criminals. I mean, you got criminals that I saw a rant by that Emery guy that does some of the Chevy truck commercial. He's like an internet Facebook comedian, and he did a thing today. Yeah, he's an ex-con. He was in jail back in 2001, and he was talking about, hey, look, when I was doing crime, if I got caught and the cops told me to show me your hands, I showed them my hands. You know, you got assholes on both sides. You got the asshole criminals, and a lot of them happen to be these entitled younger kids. You know, some of them different races, some of them not, but that think that they're in. You know, they're so entitled that they won't comply with simple directions. And when you don't comply, it's going to get rough. I mean, now you're seeing videos on Facebook where you're like, well, wait a minute, that person just resisted the whole time. and then they got slammed or they had to get, physically put on the ground and had their hands put behind their back. Yeah, that had to happen there to restrain them. Now, on the other hand, there, like Jake was saying, there's some bad cops that make it bad for everybody that are just out there to exercise, just to swing their dick around and exercise their authority, in every which way. I've had a couple of bad run-ins when I was at UK in college where, somebody just wanted to, show that they could make us do whatever they wanted us to do at the time. So, yeah, I mean, it goes on both sides.
All right. Well, check this out. Russ, Jake, when it comes to Russ and I, one of our a mutual interest of ours is actually Bill Maher. And Jake, I shared a clip with you from Bill Maher on he had a recent conversation, Russ, with Stephen Colbert on a late night show. I want to play a couple of clips that Bill Maher, some sound bites that he made, and I'm going to get both of your all's comments. All right.
Without the police on the job, that movie The Purge? Mm-hmm. It'd be that every day. Mm-hmm. Without the police.
Well, I believe that there should be like a social order and there should be some authority.
Right, and without it, I mean,
not an anarchist.
In 2 days, you would eat my liver. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't be good for you. Okay. So obviously, anytime anybody shoots a policeman, it's just abhorrent, and there's no and ifs or buts about it. So I don't condone it, but I understand it. I mean, you can only look at so many videos of shooting unarmed black people. I'm surprised it actually didn't happen before.
Jake, I know when you heard. You actually you commented on the whole thing, but that particular line when he says he doesn't condone it, but he understands it. One, Jake, do you know where he's coming from when he says that? And two, is that what he should have said?
Well, was it what he should have said? Maybe in this day and age, I mean, that's the kind of cool thing is to be against the police. But when he said he understands it, I understand where, tensions get high and, it's point on both sides where, somebody's going to say, I've had enough. But, he's saying that we're going out, or that police in general are going out shooting unarmed black people. And that's a very vague statement. Now, if somebody was running around, you have police officers going around town, they go to the mall and just shoot somebody because they're black. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think of when I hear an officer shot an unarmed black guy. Like, there's just more to the story. There's, the guy was resisting. He had a weapon. I don't even know why the fact that he's black makes a difference. I told you on the show last time we were talking about this. The only time race comes into play in law enforcement is if we're given a description of somebody. If somebody's resisting arrest and they have a weapon, they're going to get the same treatment whether they're white or black or purple or green or whatever. But the media is only going to tell you about the black guy that resisted arrest. So you're not going to hear about the thousands of white people that resist arrest every day. It's just a sales pitch for the media, and they're just microscoping one area when there's really several different ones.
Mm-hmm. Russ, jump in. Your take.
Well, I agree. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's happened, but I mean, we have to. There's a lot of numbers that are floating around, and there is no doubt statistically, based on population, that black males are taking a little higher proportion of a hit I'm hearing something in the background there. A little bit bigger proportion of a hit when it comes to being, killed in these situations. However, the other statistic is there is, and it has to do with socioeconomic issues, poverty and inner city, unemployment and things of this nature, and inner city culture, that they're having more run-ins. So if you look at it, I've not seen somebody do a complete statistical run-up to say, okay, these are how many occurrences or how many instances are happening with young black males. This is how many instances are happening with, young white males. This is how many people are getting killed. I think if, the number statistics always play out. So based on the number of instances of black males committing, some kind of a crime or having some kind of run-in with the police, it's probably playing out across the board where there's, race doesn't really apply. Now, are there some racist police officers? Of course. There's racist criminals. There's racist police officers. And racist doesn't always mean white people, on black people. Racism can take different forms. Black people on lighter-skinned black people, or it's just there's all kinds of forms of it. And I'm not saying all this to obscure from the point, but there's a lot more at play here, and I think that's what Jake's saying. But the media and Facebook and these people that are looking for clickbait and they're looking for more viewers to watch protests and things are absolutely adding fuel to the fire and exacerbating a problem that probably isn't nearly as big as it's been made out to be.
I agree. Now, this one, there's another soundbite from the same interview. This one's a little longer, but I think it's worth it. So check us out.
This goes back to, well, certainly before, but on tape, Rodney King. Mm-hmm. Rodney King was, 1991, 92, something like that? Mm-hmm. I mean, we all looked at that tape and we thought, oh, how can these cops get away with this? No matter what Rodney King did lead them on the chase, they got him on the ground, and there's 6 guys just wailing on him with the baton, and somehow he gets off. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong here that has to be addressed. So obviously violence is wrong on both sides. I've been talking about police culture in this country for a long time. Like I say, we all need the police. I think we respect them. But there is something wrong with police culture. And I don't think most policemen are bad people at all, and I don't think most policemen would do the things we see on tape. But there is that thin blue line mentality where they protect their own. And I think that has to change.
Do you think it's worse than it used to be? Or do you think that we just get to see some of the abuses of authority now?
Well, that's true, too. We see it more. But I certainly don't think it's any better. I think we just see it. And I think the police, kind of like the priesthood, they attract the wrong kind of people sometimes.
Is that the end of that one? Hey, Kev. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Oh, here I am. I had I'm sorry, my mic was on mute. Jake, you got that. That was a long one, but I'm straight shooting with you, Jake, because I love you and I got your back. But if there are bad apples, you brought it up. If there's that one dude or one cop, whatever, that's just really ruining the big picture for you guys, are you guys gonna? Is that guy gonna get called out? How do you all handle that? Is that something you all, handle within to enlighten your brother? Because I know you want to take. We all want to take care of the people. I think in the big picture, the people who even may be labeled quote unquote as a bad apple, I think their intentions for the most part are good. But seriously, how would you all go about rectifying or righting that wrong with someone who is, not doing it the right way?
Well, he says he kind of misspoke of the thin blue line. The blue line isn't us covering each other's ass. It's a brotherhood. It's kind of like a family crest. Those who walk the line. we absolutely cover our brothers. But at the same time, if somebody, if they're doing something that kind of strays away from that line, something that, they're doing something crooked, they're, confiscating drugs and selling them, separately, or they're taking money or writing false reports or, doing anything shady, that's going to be, as soon as somebody gets wind of that, they get investigated. And, if it's a problem, they're gone. Now, people make mistakes. There's certain things, like you mess up on a report or something, you get a slap on the hand. But if somebody's doing something to kind of ruin your integrity, then they're pretty much gone. Like police, especially nowadays, police departments don't put up with shit like that anymore. A guy, I was talking to an attorney about this today, and he said something, and it's so true. Your integrity is like your virginity. Once you lose it, it's gone. And
yeah, there you go.
And you can't get that back. So if I can't trust you, and you're in the, if you're wearing the same uniform as me, but you do something that makes me question your integrity, the last thing I want is you backing me up on the streets, because that's going to get me killed. It's going to get somebody else killed. And it's, nobody wins in that situation. If I see somebody going out and just beating the shit out of people because, they get their rocks off on it, I want to be like, hey, there's something going on with this guy. This needs to be addressed. And that's happened, that's happened in the past, and they've gotten rid of those guys. We get rid of people all the time because either people do stupid shit or they're what we call a squirrel, where, you go out and you say stupid shit on Facebook and you take pictures of crime scenes and post them on social media, and you do stupid shit like that, or like I said, you're abusing your powers, you're harassing people. It happens. It's just like I said, any other job where you're going to have your shithead.
It seems like the media, it seems like it's less of a racism issue and it's more of a temperament issue, because of course they're not showing they said this year it was like 113 black men had been killed so far and 224 white people. I don't think they said men, just 113 African Americans and 224 Caucasian Americans had been killed in police situations this year. And I think, in my mind, and when you hear that guy up in Minnesota when he, thought the guy was reaching and he shot and he like freaked out. And when I say temperament, I don't just mean the hothead jock, big guy that thinks he can kick everybody's ass. I'm talking about the nervous, the guy that's just so nervous that he shouldn't, holding somebody at gunpoint in a safe way takes a temperament, takes somebody that can be, with an adrenaline situation, they can be calm, cool, and collected. Say, all right, you need to comply now. I've had to, brandish my weapon, and now shit is real, and you need to do everything I'm saying. But some people they're just skittish, or they're assholes, or they're. I think it's more of a temperament thing than a race thing. I don't think people I don't think as many people as they're saying go into this thing, saying, oh, it's another, black criminal, here we go, or something like that. They're just thinking, okay, we have a perpetrator here, I have to handle this situation. Some people are good at that. Some people are skittish, squeamish, or overzealous, and they don't handle it correctly. I don't think race plays in nearly as much as people say.
Let me jump in real quick, Jake, because I think you're dead on, Russ, because I think it was, the Minnesota incident where it wasn't that the one with the chick, the girlfriend, Bill taped it on Facebook or whatever. The way I perceived that whole ordeal was that the cop involved was. I didn't perceive him as a ray. I perceived him as he was nervous or scared or intimidated by a black male who acknowledged having a gun, and in that mindset, the gun, the shots were fired. I don't think that was a case of racism. I do think, in my opinion, Jake, it was a case where a cop who is potentially, I don't know if it's the right word, in fear of young black males, but you got the way the cop reacted to me was that once the black male said gun, then it was like instantaneous. That was the reaction. Not racism, but fear. Yes?
Right.
Am I right, wrong, maybe, Jake?
No, I agree with you. Anytime somebody, you're on a traffic stop and somebody, tells you they have a weapon or you see it, I mean, it's going to raise the hair on your neck and that blood's going to start flowing. It makes you anxious. There are guys that, people are killing cops left and right. Their guard's really going to be up, and maybe sometimes, you have guys that are, they're scared shitless and they shouldn't be out there. And then you got guys, you have to find a good medium because you can't be scared shitless, but you can't be too comfortable neither, because either one of those will get you killed or get you perhaps in a bad situation where you're kind of overly jumpy and you work your way into a situation like that happened in Minnesota, which, the facts still aren't out, so I don't really like to say too much about it. There's a bunch of different scenarios that could have played out. But, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, after you sit there and you watch some of the stuff on Facebook and the news, and then you go out and you're stopping a car and you have somebody that's really anxious and jumpy and, they just say they fit the description of armed robbery. I mean, yeah, I could definitely see where that was the case.
I'm all for social media when it comes to exposing the truth. And the truth could be, and I'll use this example, that it could be, if the truth is racism, then that's the truth. But if the truth is protect and serve, if the truth is you guys, the guys in blue, the Jakes of the world taking care of us so Russ and I can sleep at night, I want that to be on social media as well. I want, and again, when it comes to not just social media, but fucking CNN. I mean, it's Russ. Is national media, the mainstream media, is it in their best interest to put that divide, between us all, just for the ratings at the end of the day? Because what kills me, Russ, is when they show Baton Rouge. This is where I know it's basically scripted reality. When Baton Rouge, Minnesota, when I watch CNN, and I am fixated with the national news during these times, but what totally fucking pisses me off is when they add some soft piano music to the images to to oh wow, this is now turned into a Hallmark story.
Yeah.
Russ, what's your take on the media, how they cover this?
Oh, it's absolutely. I mean, the media is about sensationalism, and they're going to make it sensational and try to. I mean, the bottom line is getting eyes on their, whatever medium they are. If it's one of these internet, bullcrap internet, media things, or if it's NBC. They want people, they make their money off people watching them. So in order to be competitive, they're going to do what it takes to get eyes at their, medium of entertainment, so-called news, and they're going to do, and say whatever it takes to make that happen. So it's kind of a loaded, a loaded situation because, that it's not pure motives. They don't have pure motives. Their motives isn't to get the truth out there or to get to the bottom of what's going on. Their motive is profit and money.
Right. And at the end of the day, too, what disappoints we would like to trust Anderson Cooper at the end of the day, and I'm struggling with that right now. It's supposed to be funny, but anyway, check out these. I got a couple sound bites. I'm gonna play them all and then get Jake's attention or Jake's reaction.
I think there's a lot of people who go into police work because they were the person who, when they were young, they had no authority, they were kind of losers, and now they want to have the ability to lord it over people. The police department cannot be revenge for high school. Yes, I do think police culture has to change to a degree. It's only been recently when we saw these horrific shootings, and only recently that they've even said, well, this was wrong. Before that, it was always, they were doing it by the book. By the book? Well, maybe you need a new book. The first time you're a little nervous, you can't just bam, 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 so I don't get hurt. And again, I don't think most cops do that.
Do you think they're trained into this behavior?
I don't think they're trained enough or well enough.
Jake is, and I think we talked on last week when you were on with my cousin. Is there an issue? Could there be better training? More training? Anything lacking?
There could always be better and more training. You train different depending on what area you're in, whether you're out in the county or you're in the city or, Chicago is going to be different from Louisville. There's so many factors that go into, you can't really just kind of do like a wide, like a national standard. There is on certain things, but as far as training, you got to train for your area. The fact that he said that, police are the majority of them is a bunch of kids that were bullied in high school that, are out to get revenge. That's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life. The guys that are out here serving the streets, there's a lot of guys, military guys, athletes. There's people who played college football and basketball. They're out here putting on a uniform every day. You might have somebody that, they kind of got picked on in school and they went out and started working out and now they're on the police. Maybe that happened somewhere, but I think that's a pretty ignorant statement.
Russ, your take, Russ.
I agree with that. When he said that, for the most part, I would say it's the opposite of people. If you were going to make a sweeping generalization, the bad apples, I wouldn't think it was guys that were picked on. I would think it was guys that were actually the bullies. It would be the actual bullies that, that still want to bully people. So, yeah, I don't think it's, what Bill Maher said, I would think it would be more of a, like I say, I think it's more of a temperament thing. I don't think, I don't think it's a race thing. I don't think it's a overwhelming problem in police departments. I think it's a temperament thing that people just, they get pissed off or they get nervous or they're, shit's going bad at home. Maybe somebody's having some bad shit going on at home. It might not even be a guy that would normally be that way, but we all have bad days. We all have shit,
and something last week when Jake was on, I think it was Jake that made the comment where if you get a call in, say, the bad part of a town, and I don't want to call out our city, but there are bad parts. And I think Jake said it right. If he pulls up and for whatever reason they've stopped this person, whether it's something they got a heads up or it's something that Jake has seen in real time, and he's pulling up in a bad part of town when the car itself is a luxury high-end car, with rims that are out of this world, black or white, the driver is a young individual, there's red flags right there. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, for me, is Jake, is your protocol for starters to know where your location? Your location has to tell you something, has to, kind of get you to a certain point. Because if you stop someone in West Louisville, regardless of the person involved, but if you stop someone in West Louisville driving a high-end luxury car, and the driver of that car is a older teenager or someone in the younger 20s, that's probably gonna get your attention, right? Make you a little nervous.
In law enforcement, you have to profile, so to speak. You're constantly looking around, at what's going on around you, and you're asking yourself, does this fit? Does this make sense? Whether it's a 16-year-old driving a Cadillac Escalade that's, got $20,000 worth of rims on it in the west end of Louisville, or, maybe you're out in the county, 5 degrees outside, and there's a guy walking down the highway where there's no sidewalk. Like, little things like that are going to kind of raise your suspense, maybe I need to look into this, let's see what's going on. I mean, maybe that expensive car that's in the west end of Louisville is a family member coming to pick somebody up or something, maybe it checks out. But I mean, there's just so many factors. And what it all boils down to is an R word, and it's not racism. It's self-respect. And it don't matter what part of Louisville you're in, what color you are. Like if you show respect when you encounter law enforcement, they're going to respect you. I mean, like there's always that one person. Yeah, maybe he's an asshole and he comes up to the car and he's right off the bat. Yeah, you can always throw in that guy, but 9 times out of 10, you get pulled over, you're respectful, it's going to go smooth, and then, we go from there. But, a lot of the shit you see on TV could all have been prevented if there would have been a mutual respect and people complying. There's just people that have problems with authority, and that starts them off on the wrong foot. They don't have respect, and then it ends up going south.
I want to know, if you pulled Russ over, what would be a key word that Russ would have to say before he got stunned? Come on, Russ.
Maybe.
Russ, seriously, what would be the one word you think you would? What?
Well, I'd probably avoid saying "Woo, pig suey." How's it going tonight?
Oh yeah, the old.
No, but then again, I wonder if Jake pulls someone over and that someone starts talking about their love for country music, does that help the cause?
Maybe so.
Yeah, drummers rule the world.
Now, if I pulled somebody over and they had a WildWood T-shirt on, maybe they wouldn't get a ticket.
That's what I've told from this point on. I've told Claire, if she ever travels in Southern Indiana, take a WildWood T-shirt with you. We know Jake. We know Claire, right?
Yeah, I think I've met her once or twice.
Yeah, there you go. No, let's. We're wrapping this up. Seriously, Russ. I can't imagine the daily grind that these guys do for us, and it's and right now, with as much divide as the country is in, there's going to be. I hate to say this, Jake. I think you would agree. If Baton Rouge happens later this week, it's not going to shock us. I don't think it will, because there's the mindset out there that whether it's the media helping the cause or just whatever. I mean, there is a divide, and I don't know I'd like to think Obama would have been kind of the one to help bring us together. I don't think Donald, and I don't think it's Hillary, Russ. How do you all come together, Russ? Russ?
Did we lose him?
Russ,
Can you hear? No, I'm here. I was breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think the only way we're going to get someone that can lead the country that's not their entire existence isn't a lie, which I think both of the current presidential candidates are. They're not just liars, but their whole existence almost is a lie. As if Hillary, maybe both of them will get abducted, and I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but before my thing was I want Hillary to get indicted and Trump to get abducted, but now I guess both of them will have to get abducted, and I mean at this point, no kidding. I mean I'd rather have almost anyone. I mean like if Joe Biden just said, you know what, I'm just going to take over for Barack Obama not because I want to piss everybody off, but I mean really, what are our alternatives here? We got the bag lady and the carnival barker. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for us.
Right.
No.
All right.
I do want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
The guy that from the sound bites, Bill Maher or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I'd like for him to come out and just suit up with us one night and leave his comfortable little, TV show host desk or whatever and come out and see the real world for a minute, because he made some pretty ignorant comments on that thing and it pissed me off. And that's all I say is just suit up and come out and go through some of the scenarios and see what your thoughts are after that.
Well, you know what? You're on to something, Jake. Now I want to ask you, if a guy who hosts a podcast show, what would loops he would have to go through to hang with you one day, one night? Is it even possible?
Yes, possible. I'd have to do a little digging and see what all we'd have to do. But
let's talk offline, because I tell you what, I do that for the show. I would love to be part of that. I want to see firsthand. See if you.
We did that.
What was that, bro?
Get you on a rattle or something.
Yeah, that'd be. They did that with the Black Lives Matter activists online. I saw where they took a guy that was like a big Black Lives Matter activist. They put him in situations and gave him like a mock-up situation with a mock-up gun and everything, and it completely opened his eyes as to what they have to deal with.
Yeah, it changed his perspective totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the thing is, I honestly don't think my perspective will be changed. I really think, for the most part, everything I think will be legit, justified. So,
you'd have a new appreciation for it.
There you go. Yes. All right, Jake, you came on, you gave your WildWood promo for County Line this weekend, and then we sucked you into the law enforcement thing. From me to you, it's been 2 weeks that you come on and you shared your stories, and I do appreciate that. And
anytime, brother.
The real world's here, and a lot of people got your back. And first and foremost, Russ, as I know Jake, stand-up guy, and my confidence in him in doing a job is good. Plays the band very well. I think he thinks my daughter's attractive.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he has eyes in his head, I'd say he thinks she's attractive.
Well, yeah, he's got eyes. Thanks for hanging out with us. You've been great, and probably we'll reach out to you. Obviously, I hope I don't have to reach out to you next week on a non-music thing, but if I do, you're the guy I'll talk to.
Yeah, man, anytime, and I always appreciate you having me on and come out to the county line and see us. And we got
Saturday
a bunch more. That's right. We got a lot more stuff coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll we'll throw those out there too. Come on.
Jake Badger, WildWood. Jake, take care. Be safe, brother.
All right, brother. Always thanks again.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
Need you to go pick me up a WildWood T-shirt at the show. So when I'm in Indiana driving, I gotta get out of jail free card possibly.
Exactly.
At no time were any animals or people hurt during this presentation of Shooting from the Lip.